Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that looked like the heathen, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And once again, we're going to go into critical race historical facts and simple facts and truths that are ignored. All right. What you're looking at is Hamitic people. The Philistines are of the sons of Ham. As a matter of fact, the Philistines or the Philistines or Philistim, who were the original inhabitants of Palestine today, which is what Palestine means, were Hamites, not Ishmaelites. All right, the majority of the people in the land of Palestine now are the sons of Ishmael. All right, so when you read Zechariah, and I'm gonna read these scriptures, when it tells you that the bastards, which means frauds, fraudulent phonies, would dwell in the land of the Lord, that being the Amalekites, who refer to themselves as Jewish, and Ishmaelites, who refer to themselves as Palestinians. When you're looking at the actual images of the ancient Hamites, and of the Hamites came the Philistines, all right, out of Mizraim, who was the son of the father of the Egyptians, the actual Egyptians, not these pale. Let's go turn to the left here. Let me find a pencil on my pointer. Here it is. Somebody, I like it when people move my shit. All right. I use this letter opener as my pointer. All right. But as you see these images right here, these are Hamitic people. But what they're showing you, these pale people, that's from the time of the Ptolemies when Alexander took over and set up white people in Egypt, which they love to tell, Egypt from Cleopatra's, Alexander's point of view, as if that was the ancient Egyptians that was dealing with the Israelites. No, these were the ancient Egyptians right here, where the pointer is, that was dealing with the Israelites. These people, not these pale people that are standing here with these, all right? Because at that time, you had Ham, Ishmael, and then all these different Edomites were all in Egypt. That's why you have a rainbow of people there. All right, let's turn a little bit further to the left here. This is a really good page. These were your ancient Hamitic people during the time of the Israelites. Okay? Where the pointer is there. When Alexander of Macedon took over, when Alexander, what they call Alexander the Great, all right? So there is no controversy. It's just them misquoting and lying about history, right? Because Esau, Edom becomes those that he conquers, just like they became the Europeans. They aren't the original Europeans. The Europeans were brown-skinned people as well. All right, so let's read this Hamitic curse. It says, or this myth. It says, when Noah awoke from his wife, that's just I'll read it anyway. That's Genesis 9, 24 through 26. And it says, when Noah awoke from his wine, he knew what his youngest son had done to him. And so he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brothers. So his brothers was actually, the Japheth and Shem. All right. And it says, his brothers was actually talking about his other brothers that came out of Canaan, out of his sons. All right. And it says, he shall be to his brothers. He also said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. So, it says he's going to be the servants to Shem too. And then eventually everybody will be servants to the chosen line of Shem, which is the Israelites. All right. So there's a lot of Shemites, not just one, But it says, though the myth, and this is the myth, though the myth has been used for centuries to provide a biblical rationale for the subjugation and mistreatment of African people, it has been used to justify the number of evils, including racism, slavery, lack of support for poor African nations, which, Africa is the richest continent. The poor African nations are poor because the Edomites control their resources. For example, I was speaking with the brother, with the Israelite brother, beloved brother Daniel Alaba, in the camp yesterday. We were just chopping it up after camp, and he was talking about how one of his older relatives worked in a silver mine in Slovakia, in Zacatecas. I think he's from Zacatecas, and he said even though this silver mine is in Mexico, it's owned by Swedish people, by Edomites, and how when they would leave the mine every day, they would get searched and patted down to make sure they didn't have any silver. How the hell are you from Sweden controlling a mine in Mexico? You see what I'm saying? All right. It says the racist theory was widely held during the 18th and 20th century, but it has been largely abandoned since the mid 20th century by even the most conservative theologians. So the reason why it's being disregarded, because it's easy to disprove it, because in the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible, which I'm holding, let's read the curse of Ham. I mean the curse of Ham. Let's read about Ham and who his descendants are today. All right. This is the definition of Ham in the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible, and it reads, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. So the Africans didn't get put into slavery here in America, get transported all over the world in slave ships. The Israelites did. The refugees that were in Africa did. A different race of people. Africans were not enslaving their own people. Hamites, Canaanites were enslaving Israelites, selling them to the nations, which brings us to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Let's go there real quick. All right, let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, Joel 3, and I started verse 3. Joel 3 and 3, and it reads, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah. And what do you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Those were, African nations. But during this time in Palestine, the Ishmaelites were there because they participated in the slave trade. All right. So you had Ham, Ishmael, and Esau. All right. So basically, the Hamites, the people on the screen, all right, and the Ishmaelites, all right, got together and were selling these people, that were in the yokes of iron, all right, to the Grecians, who were now the Edomites. Remember, the original inhabitants, as I said earlier in the video, were melanated people, all right. But now, Alexander, just like here, when the Edomites took over, Western Asia, which they call the Middle East today, when they took over North Africa, in Egypt, in those areas, when they took those areas over, they began to call themselves Egyptians. The same as when they took over Europe, they began to call themselves Europeans, all right? And, Greeks and Romans. They took over these people's land and took their heritage. This is what they do, right? But it says, yeah, and what do you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So, lie after lie after lie. African people, Hamites, did not go into slavery. Dark-fleshed, brown-skinned Israelites went into slavery, and the Palestine was originally the land of these very same Hamites that sold the Israelites into slavery, not Ishmael that's there now mainly. All right, now granted, there are still some Israelites that are mixed in with the people in Palestine. There's no doubt about that, because every Israelite didn't leave. As I'm going to play a video that's going to kind of speak on that. But the majority of the people in the land of Palestine today were Ishmaelites, imposters, frauds, bastards, just like the people in the land of Israel. All right, same thing. Well, both in the land of Israel, frauds, phonies, bastards. All right, that's a synonym to the word bastard. Is fraud, phony, and false. All right. So let me find this video and play it. All right.
This filter shows your face when you were a child.
I hate that about TikTok. How it just comes on playing shit instead of just quiet, so you could go to where you want to go. You know what I mean? Fucking filter. All right, so let's find this video. Oh, great. Here it is. Found it. Perfect. Let's turn this up.
There seems to have been a failure of intelligence as well. We're not quite sure how we missed it. We're not quite sure how Israel missed it. We know that Egypt had warned the Israelis 3 days prior that an event like this could happen. We know that this had been planned perhaps as long as a year ago. The other concern is escalation in the region. We know that Hezbollah has 100,000 rockets that would overload the Iron Dome. We know that in Syria we have ISIS. We know that Lebanon with Hezbollah. We know that Iraq has Shia proxies and Iran-backed proxies. We know Iran itself has in large part funded this and provided the weapons for it. We don't want to see escalation. We want to see this contained to Gaza. However, we're very concerned about the fidelity of our intelligence and the escalation of a conflict in the Middle East that could turn into
Western Asia.
Congressman Michael McCall, he is the Texan representative responsible for my area here in Texas. He is saying that Israel was informed by Egyptian intelligence that Hamas was planning an attack 3 days prior, at least once. And we know that the operation has been getting planned for at least 2 years, and Israel had Palestinian spies within Hamas ranks. So is Israel, knowing that Hamas was planning an attack on October 7th, did they ignore intelligence so they can use their own people as human shields in order to no longer have a siege? I mean, a siege is very expensive to maintain. I mean, it's military operation. It needs continuous military surveillance by sea as well, and that's very expensive, and it's been going on for 17 years. So yes, Israel has every interest in having no siege and having Gaza land for themselves. Gas, resources, of course they would benefit, especially for a country that loves free stuff. And I've also been getting a lot of arguments with Zionists online because they keep telling me things that don't make sense. Okay, yeah, Jews were expelled by Romans. That doesn't mean everyone in the area was expelled. There were people that stayed. These are the ones that took care of the land, that maintained the land, that built homes and properties on the land. You have no right to steal it from them. Why is that so hard?
So we'll stop her there. We'll stop her there. All right, let's get this correct. Jews were not expelled by Romans. Israelites were. The house of Judah was expelled by the Romans. Now, you did have Jewish Edomites who had been forced converted to follow the law, statutes, and commandments by the Maccabees, by John Hyrcanus of the Maccabees family, a Levite. All right. But they were not, but they were also Edomites, same as the Romans themselves. And, that's a fact that they try to hide and cover up. So when I say that neither of these people belong in that land, let's get Ezekiel. Actually, let's get Zechariah first, which kind of points out the fact of both people. So let's go to Zechariah. We'll finish up in Joel at the end. But let's go to Zechariah 9 and 6. And it reads, "And the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines." Well, the Philistines being the Palestinians today, all right? because the actual Philistines are not there. The Palestinians are. So they are representation, they're part of this fraud. They don't belong there. And of course, the people control Ashdod, which is the port city right there in Tel Aviv. Well, those are Amalekites. Those are Edomites. They don't belong there either. So both people have been, what's that? Jeremiah 16:19, I think. Let's see. Which is really talking about Israelites, but, the duality of the scriptures. A lot of the scriptures that I'm speaking on and using today, they have, duality, dual meanings. But Jeremiah 16:19, it says, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things within there is no profit. So these nations, including our own, have been lied to about their identities. There was a veil that was thrown over the whole world as far as identifying the races, and Esau used modern day. He used color to identify people when you cannot do that. All right, because someone could be pale and have a blood brother that came from the same father and mother that is dark skinned. If his father was a so-called white man and his mother is a so-called black woman, all right, or vice versa. And which is why in the ancient world, people were more concerned with the house that you came from, because since your father is how you identify. Sperm is a bloodline, not a womb that you came out of. All right, the womb produces whatever seed bloodline is put into it. All right, despite if you look like your mom or you have your mom's complexion and you look absolutely nothing like your father, you are of your father's bloodline. Point blank, period. There is no argument. Shut the hell up. All right, the man determines the nationality of a person. Period. All right, but this is Isaiah 25:7. And it reads, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations. You understand? So that lie, the veil that was spread over all nations as of lately, was all based upon color. And you still got people that are stuck on color. Right? That's not even a lesson, but the Spirit does what the Spirit does. So get that nonsense out of your head. All right? So yes, someone can look like a white person and still be an Israelite. Someone can look like a Hamite, like one of these Egyptians, and be an Israelite. Someone can look like, just like they showed you on the picture there. All right, someone can look like a so-called Asian person and still be an Israelite. Why? Because our people got scattered to all of them, among all people on the face of the earth. Point blank, period. And they're going to come back looking like them until the great change, till the Lord changes us and gives us his new bodies. All right. Let's grab the next scripture. Now let's get Ezekiel 35 and get on these Amalekites, or 36 and 5. And it reads, therefore thus saith the Lord, power surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which I've appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart and despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. The Idumeans, which is the Greekish way, or the Greek way, the Latin way, all right, which proves that because the V sound, all right, they say Esav, which is evidence that the rabbis themselves are also Esau, all right, they use that V sound. That's a Latin term, all right. The long out, the A, the U, the O, those sound. The only long vowel in Hebrew is the I sound. There is no other long vowels. Everything is I. So A, B, C, D is Abagada. All right. That's Hebrew. Not Ave, We, Ve, Ove. No, that's Yiddish. That's people using an Assyrian script, which the house of Judah never used in the first place. They used the Phoenician form. All right. And they fabricated, added dots, added Latin vowel sounds to it. All right. Frauds. That's why they call bastards, frauds, phonies, fakes in Zechariah. Okay. And let's go to Genesis, the 10th chapter, because the Philistines, all right, are sons of, I think his name is Gat. Let's click to it. Let's click to this page. And this is on Wikipedia, and it's talking about the battle of Shephad. And it said the battle, and these are all the different battles where the Israelites, battles between the Israelites and the Philistines. All right. So when you come down to here, the origin, let's go down, bring it up. 7 theories are given about the origin of the Philistines. It is no theories. The Bible tells you where they came from. The Hebrews mention in places that they originate, geographical region known as Kaffa, possibly Crete. No, that's a lie. They may have occupied those areas, but they're all sons of Ham. They came out of Africa. Although the Hebrew Chronicles also state the Philistines were descended from Casluhim, one of the sons of Ham's second son, Mizraim, which are the Egyptians. All right, these Egyptians right here. Okay, those Egyptians right there. The Philistines came out of their forefather, out of Ham's son, Mizraim. All right, let's get the evidence, the scripture to prove it. All right, let's just shut down all these lies. All right, the Philistines, the Palestinians were Hamites. All right, so let's go to Genesis, the 10th chapter. I'm in the 14th verse, 10 and 14. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 13. The point is in 14. All right, but it says, and Mizraim, all right, the father of the image that you see, the ancient artifacts that you see in the face that looks just like him, all right, begot Ludum and Anamim and Lehabim and Nephutahim, Pathrum, Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim. All right, the Philistines came out of his seventh son. Out of Mizraim's seventh son. These people on the screen. So these were the Philistines came from these people, not Ishmael, not Arabs. Arabs is a mixture of Elam and Ishmael. All right. So the true Palestinians are Hamitic, African people who have been pushed out of their land long time ago and been living down and further into the continent of Africa. All right, they've been pushed out of their land. So this fight between between the Edomites and the Ishmaelites is, well, it's a silly fight because the land doesn't belong to either one of them, which is why we're on the verge of World War III. All right. So let's go to Joel. Back to Joel 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it says, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, northern and southern kingdom, not just the Jews, not just Judah, all right, the house of Judah, which consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, as a matter of fact, all right. And it says, and I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. Well, I will plead, and that's over there in the Holy Land, basically in Western Asia. All right. And it says, they being gathered in Syria. That's in the land of Jehoshaphat. The Yahweh's decision, all right, where he's going to decide the fate of all you heathen nations, and plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, for whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. There it is. The land of Israel was parted. All right. And as a result of that, let me jump down to verse 6. The children of Judah and the children of Israel. All right. So it wasn't just the southern kingdom that went into slavery. The northern kingdom did too. All right. Where's that curse of Ham? Put it back up. All right. The northern kingdom went into slavery as well. All right. It says, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, ye have also sold to the Grecians, so-called white people. They went on cargo slave ships, fulfilling the prophecies in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right. You shall be sold on ships, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies, roughly paraphrased. Someone can put it on the comment board, Bible Kashah. All right. So, this lie is being exposed. We're living in the time of the exposure of Esau, Edom. The curses have fallen upon them, and they're being exposed. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash, Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom.